In the 1920s, one man ruled the streets of Chicago like a king. He controlled the alcohol, the gambling, the police, and even the politicians. His name was Al Capone. He was not born into power. He was not born rich. But by the time he was 26 years old, he had become the most feared and powerful gangster in America. This is the full story of Al Capone, from a poor immigrant boy to the undisputed king of Chicago, and finally to his dramatic fall. Alphonse Gabriel Capone was born in 1899 in Brooklyn, New York. His parents were Italian immigrants. They came to America looking for a better life, but they found only struggle. Al was a smart kid, but school never interested him. By the age of 14, he had already dropped out. He started working small jobs and quickly found himself on the streets. It was on those streets that he learned the rules of survival. At just 19 years old, during a fight in a bar, someone attacked him with a knife. The blade cut deep into his left cheek, leaving 3 long scars that would stay with him for the rest of his life. From that day forward, people started calling him Scarface. But Al Capone didn't let the nickname break him. Instead, he used it. In 1920, something big happened in America. The government banned alcohol. Prohibition had begun. While most people saw a law, Al Capone saw an opportunity. He moved to Chicago and started working for a man named Johnny Torrio. Torrio was already running illegal alcohol operations. Capone was smart, ruthless, and extremely loyal. He quickly became Torrio's right-hand man. When Torrio was shot and nearly killed in 1925, he decided to retire. He left everything to Al Capone. At only 26 years old, Al Capone became the boss of the Chicago outfit. Capone turned the Chicago outfit into a machine. He controlled breweries, speakeasies, gambling houses, and brothels across the city. He made millions of dollars every year, but power always comes with enemies. Other gangs wanted what he had. Violence became a daily part of life in Chicago. Shootings happened in the streets. Bodies were found in alleys. Capone didn't hide. He walked around with bodyguards. He lived in luxury hotels. He even gave interviews to newspapers, smiling for the cameras like a celebrity. He once famously said, "I make my money by supplying a public demand. If I break the law, my customers, who number in the millions, break the law with me." On February 14, 1929, one of the most shocking crimes in American history took place. 7 men were lined up against a wall inside a garage on North Clark Street. They were members of a rival gang. A group of men dressed as police officers walked in. They told the 7 men to put their hands against the wall. Then they opened fire with machine guns. When it was over, the 7 men were dead. The floor was covered in blood. This became known as the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Even though Capone was never officially charged, most people believed he ordered the hit. It showed the entire country just how powerful and dangerous he had become. The massacre turned public opinion against Capone. The government finally decided to act. They couldn't convict him for murder or bootlegging. So they went after him for something else: tax evasion. In 1931, Al Capone was found guilty of tax evasion. He was sentenced to 11 years in federal prison. The man who once ruled Chicago was now just another prisoner. He was sent to Alcatraz, the most secure prison in America at the time. His health started to fail. The powerful gangster was slowly disappearing. Al Capone was released from prison in 1939. By then, he was a broken man. The syphilis he had for years had damaged his brain. He spent his final years living quietly in Florida with his family. On January 25, 1947, Al Capone died at the age of 48. Even though he died young, his name became legendary. He became the symbol of the gangster era in America. Books were written about him. Movies were made. To this day, when people think of 1920s gangsters, they think of Al Capone. Thank you for watching. If you want more stories about America's most dangerous gangsters from the 1920s and 1930s, subscribe to the 1980 American Story and turn on notifications. Drop a comment below. Which gangster should we cover next? John Dillinger? Bonnie and Clyde? Or someone else?